Alright, Leo, it is time for your October reading. I've gone ahead and pulled your cards, and we'll be working with the Radiant Rider Waite Tarot. We start out with the World card. We have the Queen of Cups, the King of Swords, the Tower, the Magician, the Ten of Wands, the Five of Swords, the Two of Pentacles, the Ace of Cups, and finally we have the Page of Pentacles. This is kind of an interesting draw because it does start off with the World card. And this card always reminds me kind of your aura and kind of like what is around you, what is in your space, what is coming towards you. And there's a lot of animals. There's the eagle up here in the corner, and we have a bull down here and a lion over here. So that would be potentially Taurus and Leo. We also have a young energy up here, human in the corner, and then the eagle being wish fulfillment. So there's a lot of stuff coming into play there. We also have the Queen of Cups, which is speaking to the full female embodiment of the emotional or heart space energy. And this is really interesting because she has her feet on some pebbles, and then there's a little cherub holding a fish over here. So in its own sense, it's speaking to emotional abundance. And that's sitting next to the King of Swords. So it's not just, this is a much more balanced headspace, as in heart and head thinking together, masculine and feminine working together, both logic and heart space. There's also the butterflies on the throne behind the king. And there are some clouds there, but they're not turbulent clouds. They're very much just like I guess what you would think of as like a warm summer's day kind of energy that's happening there. And that's followed by the Tower. So it is there's a lot of stuff coming in for you, Leo. And you're in a very balanced heart space and head space. But I would say more so ruled by the head space than the heart space. And then you move into the Tower. But this doesn't seem like the kind of tower that totally destroys you, but more a tower that opens you up, because it is followed that by the Magician, which has the symbol for each element. It has the wands, the swords, the cups, the pentacles, and then he's also holding I don't know if it's like a two-ended candle. It kind of looks like that, and then infinity over his head. But it's like taking everything that you're handed and making something beautiful and wholesome out of it. So, but it also speaks to a little bit of up and down in this energy, because you go from the Tower to the Magician and then to the Ten of Wands, where it's like you're overburdened, you're carrying a very heavy load. You're doing a lot of work here. And because this is in like wands is passion, it's fire. It's like, why, if you're so passionate about this, why is it so burdensome? And it's almost like you're taking your magician energy and trying to make something out of this situation that it isn't necessarily meant to be, or maybe the situation isn't for you. So you're very strong in your ability to manifest and create, but you're working with something that isn't necessarily for you. And then we come into the Five of Swords, where we are in this much more turbulent energy, and you can see that in the clouds, the way that they're moving, as this is air. And there's people in the background who are walking away, who are giving up on the situation, and there's kind of a smirk on the face here, like, but not me. You can't beat me. Like, I'm still gonna do this. I'm gonna power through. I'm gonna keep winning. And then you come into this Two of Pentacles, where he's like doing this juggling act, and his ships are totally getting tossed around. and he's like still struggling. So it's like you're fighting through something, and it doesn't seem like it's something that you have to fight through or you should fight through. Like, you've gone through this tower energy where you realize that that you're on the struggle bus, but you're like, but I can manifest through this. Yes, you can. I have done that before, but there are consequences to that. Like, it's when you keep getting a no from spirit and you keep pushing and pushing and pushing, ultimately you will reach a point where spirit's like, okay, that's how it goes. Like, okay, now you have to learn the hard way. And then you're starting over. From here, from the Two of Pentacles, we're moving into the Ace of Cups and having a new heart space energy and a new energy as far as abundance and with the Page of Pentacles, but it's still this young and naive energy. And he's like admiring the pentacle, the one pentacle, and there's a whole empty field over here to be planted. And it's like, this is I mean, the other extreme from the Ten of Pentacles, where you're harvesting, you're bringing in all of this abundance. It's like you went from the world, like you had all these things coming at you and you were in a really balanced place, but you went to the tower so that you could start over. And I'm not sure what you're going through, Leo. I'm not sure what it is that you're working through or why you're pushing through this, but you, at any point in time, you can go back to this, where you have that Magician and the World. You can go back to those energies. You can lay all your burdens down. Like, this doesn't have to be what you're going through. That's a decision that you are making. But what I don't understand is why. So I am going to pull a couple cards and clarify that. While I'm shuffling here, I just want to point out, I'm gonna like try and move out of the way. My beautiful background here. That is from my best friend, Kat, who sent it to me for a background for my video. So thank you, Kat. She's also a Leo, so hopefully everything is going well. I will be speaking with you, ma'am. All right, so we have the Queen of Swords. I mean, I got a lot of cards, and I don't know why. I don't usually take this many, but I'm just gonna go ahead and read it. So I remember before we had the King of Swords, we just got the Queen of Swords, which would totally balance your headspace. We also, and this came up for, I want to say this came up for Libra as well, as the Eight of Cups, the Nine of Pentacles, the Four of Cups, and the Hermit. So, and you know, if you've watched any of my videos and you've had the Hermit or the Eight of Cups before, I feel like these are very much the same energy. It's about, like, the Hermit is much more general, taking quiet time, but I feel like with the Eight of Cups, it's very specific to exploring your emotional body and finding out what is going on in your heart space. So this is actually a pretty clear indication with the Queen of Cups. So if you take your King of Swords, I'm sorry, I don't know why I keep saying Queen of Cups. You do have your Queen of Cups here. But you take your King of Swords and your Queen of Swords, giving you the full balanced mental energy, the thought process, and you explore the heart space, which would be your Queen of Cups, which would be your heart space is more in the Queen than in the King. So you need a balance of energy there for sure. But you're going in to explore that, the King and Queen of Swords here, into the Eight of Cups. And you understand what is going on, what is blocking you from the Nine of Pentacles, which is your abundance here. And then we see that you have the Four of Cups, which is this guy is sitting under a tree. He's staring at the three cups on the ground in front of him, and he's ignoring the one that's in the air here. And it's like, this is the Tower, Magician, and the Ten of Wands. You're forcing something. There's something totally magical and totally perfect right here that's being offered to you, but you're still focused on this right here. So taking the time, exploring the heart space with the mental aspect, and coming to understand why it is that you are turning away from and blocking yourself from the abundance that is there in front of you. And when you have that understanding, when you come to that understanding, you're exploring that with the Hermit energy. I'll also say we have the World, the Tower, the Magician, and the Hermit in here. So 4 major arcana. So I do say definitely, Leo, think about why you are closing yourself off from this abundance and ways that you can open your heart to that, because it doesn't have to be a struggle. You don't have to carry this heavy burden. And I've not seen it before where you have the Tower and it's like this big opportunity to let go. Like, I have not seen a reading for that. I've definitely lived through it where I had this opportunity to let go, and it was like a 3rd time's the charm, where the first 2 times that the Tower came through and I had the opportunity to let go, I didn't. And each time, and it was like a 1-up from the universe. It was like, okay, here's your new situation. And it was something where I forced a situation that I should not have, and things got tougher each time. So, and it repeated in the cycle where 2 more times I had the opportunity, I had that Tower moment, I had the opportunity to walk away. And finally, this is already like the 1-up situation, so it's already escalated. The 3rd time was when I finally walked away. But it was a very difficult lesson to learn, and that's not how you want to learn your lessons, and it's not how you have to learn your lessons. At any point in time, you can turn this around, you can release, and you can move forward. And this is what moving forward looks like. Leo, I hope this was helpful, and hopefully we'll see you back here next month for November's reading. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Thanks so much.